The Sea of Japan, a stretch of water as beautiful as it is volatile. Beneath its calm surface lie decades of hostility, unspoken rules, and a tension that has never truly gone away. Every patrol, every exercise, every radar sweep is a reminder that peace in this region is fragile, balanced on the wings of steel and silence. In this sky, one wrong signal, one aggressive maneuver, can unleash chaos. And for the men and women aboard the U.S. Navy's carrier strike group, the line between training and combat is thinner than ever. On a morning that began like any other, that line was crossed. An unidentified aircraft, fast, erratic, and flying under a hostile flag, appeared on the Roosevelt's radar. It came from the northwest, low over the water, and on a direct path toward the carrier group. Within minutes, two F/A-18 Super Hornets were scrambled. Engines roared. The sky became a chessboard of movement, tension, and silence. But this wasn't an ordinary intercept. This was a test, a provocation in the deadliest form. The fighter's radar locked onto the U.S. jets, not as a signal, but as a challenge. The world held its breath, and then, in just under 2 seconds, the MiG was gone. Vanished without a trace. What happened in that 1.8 seconds has remained buried beneath layers of secrecy, confusion, and speculation. Was it an accident, a weapon test, or the unveiling of something the public was never meant to know? Today, we uncover the story behind the encounter, the tension before the strike, the vanishing that defied logic, and the unanswered question that still haunts those who were there. At first light over the Sea of Japan, the ocean is calm, but beneath that surface stillness, tension brews like a storm waiting to break. The USS Theodore Roosevelt, a floating city of steel and precision, cuts through the waves at cruising speed. Every sailor, every aviator aboard knows the region's reputation, a zone where the wrong move can ignite chaos. Suddenly, a radar officer inside the Combat Information Center spots something unusual. A blip, faint, erratic, approaching from the northwest. Unknown contact, 80 miles out, he reports, voice steady but sharp. The room tightens, screens light up, keyboards clack. The air grows heavier. Over the intercom, the calm yet commanding voice of the operations officer echoes. Launch the alert birds. On deck, two F/A-18 Super Hornets roar to life. Flames burst from their exhausts, steam swirls beneath the catapults. As they take off, camera pans toward the horizon, where the sun meets uncertainty. The unknown contact resolves into a radar signature, small, fast, and aggressive. Analysts recognize the profile. A MiG-29 Fulcrum, North Korea's most advanced fighter. But what's it doing this far out? And why is it flying directly toward a U.S. carrier strike group? The American pilots lock on their radars. Eagle 1 to CIC. Tally 1 bogey. Bearing 085, Angels 20. The tension builds. Every move from here could mean confrontation or restraint. The MiG begins evasive maneuvers, not an interception, not a warning. It's probing, testing response times. The pilot is daring the U.S. to flinch. Then, silence on comms. The MiG disappears from radar for 3 seconds, reappears closer than before, only 22 miles out. The bridge falls quiet. The commander leans forward and gives the order, weapons tight. Maintain visual. Camera cuts to a slow-motion aerial shot, the U.S. jets banking hard, the MiG darting through clouds like a shadow. In those few moments, the fate of 3 nations balances on one pilot's decision. The sky has turned into a chessboard. Every move, every second, could ignite a global flashpoint. The U.S. pilots are under strict orders. Observe, shadow, but do not engage unless fired upon. Yet, high above the rolling waves, restraint is a fragile thing. Eagle 1 to base. Contact within 15 miles. He's locking radar on us. The pilot's voice crackles through static. Inside the carrier's Combat Information Center, tension spikes. Copy. Eagle 1. Defensive posture only, replies the airboss, tone clipped and precise. But the MiG doesn't back down. Its nose dips. The digital tone of a radar lock warning fills the American cockpit, a sound every pilot dreads. He's painting me, shouts Eagle 1. Repeat. Hostile lock detected. On the Roosevelt, alarms echo across corridors. Crewmen run to battle stations. The ship's defensive systems spin to life, though still on hold fire. Every sailor feels it now. the electric charge of possible war. Then, in a move that shocks even the hardened veterans watching the radar, the MiG dives low, skimming the ocean's surface, a maneuver both taunting and suicidal. The U.S. pilots dive after it, contrails slicing through the morning haze. Eagle 2, brake left, he's pulling under us. The camera cuts between both cockpits, the strained breathing, the eyes flicking across instruments. For 45 agonizing seconds, the aircraft dance in a deadly spiral. The MiG tries to flank, the F/A-18s counter every move. Radio chatter floods the channel, stay on him. Don't lose visual, he's going vertical, and then it happens. The MiG launches a flare, not a missile, but a signal. A provocation. It's a message. We're not afraid. From the U.S. carrier's bridge, the commander's voice cuts through. Mark this contact. Any further aggression and we respond. The American jets maintain formation, watching as the MiG levels off, circling once, twice, before vanishing into the low horizon clouds. But no one relaxes, because the blip on radar isn't gone. It's just hidden, waiting. The rules of engagement are clear. But rules mean little when adversaries test patience with precision. In those skies, diplomacy fades, and instinct takes over. The next time that MiG appears, no one will hesitate. Minutes after the tense encounter, the ocean has fallen eerily silent again. The F/A-18s patrol the skies, wings slicing through mist. Below them, the carrier strike group maintains a defensive formation, destroyers in a wide arc, radar dishes rotating like restless eyes. Then, something strange happens. On the Roosevelt's radar, the contact blip that marked the MiG returns, faint, then strong. The operator frowns. Sir, unknown contact reacquired. Bearing 120, closing fast. Voices rise. The air defense officer squints at the screen. That's impossible. He was heading the other way. Above, the F/A-18s bank eastward, engines howling. Eagle 1 to CIC. We've got nothing on visual, radar ghost, maybe? Then, static. Say again, Eagle 1? Silence. Only the crackle of the radio. Then, in a split second, everything changes. The radar pings once, then flatlines. A sharp tone pierces the room. Contact lost. The entire CIC falls quiet. The air boss leans forward, voice low. Run it again. The technician replays the data, frame by frame, and there it is. A flash, a burst of heat signature lasting less than 2 seconds. Then, gone. 1.8 seconds, the technician whispers. He just vanished. Search planes scramble immediately. Helicopters sweep the last known coordinates, their rotors churning up mist from the sea. A destroyer launches a drone, cameras scanning the waves. But there's nothing. No debris, no oil slick, no flare. One of the pilots breaks radio silence. Control, we saw a flash. Looked like a detonation, mid-air, then nothing. Like he just disintegrated. Command analysts begin pulling satellite data. Within minutes, high-altitude imagery reveals something haunting. A faint plume, almost invisible, drifting over the sea. The MiG didn't simply crash. It ceased to exist. The official report will later list it as cause undetermined. But those who were there know what they felt. A split-second flash, an echo, then nothing but static. And deep down, every sailor aboard the Roosevelt began to wonder. Did the MiG self-destruct? Or was it destroyed by something unseen? For the next 12 hours, the ocean becomes a search grid. The U.S. Navy mobilizes every asset within 200 nautical miles, reconnaissance drones, Seahawk helicopters, and even a nuclear submarine positioned under the fleet's perimeter. The objective: locate any trace of the vanished MiG. From above, the Pacific looks endless, a metallic blue wasteland stretching in all directions. But the crews keep searching, driven by the unspoken fear that what disappeared could return just as suddenly. Seahawk 1, report status. Negative on debris, sir. Nothing but waves and wind shear. Static. Then silence. The sun dips lower, the light turning amber. Sailors lean over the railings, scanning the horizon for a shape, a shadow, anything. What they find, instead, is confusion. Deep within the Roosevelt's intelligence center, analysts replay radar data again and again. The heat bloom lasts exactly 1.8 seconds, the same moment the MiG vanished. Too sudden for a malfunction, too clean for a crash. Could have been a self-detonation, one officer murmurs. Some kind of scuttling protocol? Another shakes his head. No wreckage, no residue. It's like it evaporated. Whispers begin to spread among the crew. Maybe it wasn't an accident. Maybe something else erased the MiG from the sky. Something unseen, silent, and powerful. Back in Washington, Pentagon analysts receive the encrypted report. Classified. Only a handful of people see the radar images. What they notice chills them. For 0.3 seconds before the MiG vanished, a secondary heat spike appeared, just 400 meters off its wingtip. Was it another aircraft? A missile? An experimental weapon? The official response is cautious, unidentified aerial interaction, under investigation. But behind closed doors, the language is clearer. Engagement confirmed. As the sea swallows the last of the light, no one speaks the obvious, that the MiG might not have been alone. Something had entered that sky, faster than any pilot could react, and in less than 2 seconds, erased its target from existence. Within 24 hours, every byte of radar, sonar, and telemetry data from the Roosevelt strike group is encrypted and transferred to a classified Pentagon server. The incident is no longer a search operation. It's now a containment event. Inside a briefing room, a cluster of uniformed officers and intelligence analysts stare at a large digital display. The screen replays the moment, frame by frame, when the North Korean MiG vanished. At first, it looks like a data glitch, until one analyst isolates a faint shape appearing next to the MiG's heat signature. "Freeze that," says Rear Admiral Collins. The room goes silent. The image sharpens. It's not a missile. The vector is wrong. Not another jet either. There's no transponder, no acoustic signature. It's just a distortion. A heat pocket that shouldn't exist. Whatever that is, Collins mutters, it's moving faster than anything we have on record. In the following weeks, classified discussions ripple through defense circles. Whispers of directed energy tests, hypersonic counter-interceptors, and unacknowledged special access programs emerge, all officially denied. But someone leaks a sliver of information. Satellite logs show a brief, high-energy anomaly above the engagement zone, consistent with a low-orbit platform discharge. In plain terms, something fired from space. When reporters question the Navy spokesperson, the response is carefully worded. The incident involved the loss of an unidentified aircraft. We maintain our commitment to regional stability. No mention of the MiG. No mention of the U.S. response. Behind the curtain, analysts nicknamed the event Spectre Strike. Theories swirl. Was it a covert demonstration? A warning? Or a glimpse of a weapons system that officially doesn't exist? Every detail is locked behind clearance walls. Even the pilots who witnessed the engagement are ordered into silence, their after-action reports sealed under eyes only. But some aboard the Roosevelt can't shake what they saw, a light, a flash, and then the emptiness that followed. And among the sailors, a whisper takes hold, that the MiG didn't fall to enemy fire, but to a ghost in the sky. By the third day, the story breaks, but in fragments. North Korea issues a public statement accusing the United States of aggressive sky violations, and claiming one of its aircraft was lost to technical failure. The U.S. response? Silence. Officially, nothing happened. Yet the Pacific knows. Every vessel, every sailor, every pilot who scanned that horizon feels the echo of what truly occurred, an encounter that rewrote the unwritten rules of engagement. On the Roosevelt's bridge, officers watch the sunset with a different kind of quiet. No victory cheers, no announcements, just the low hum of engines and the rhythmic crash of waves against the hull. Eagle 1, the squadron leader, sits alone in the ready room. Helmet beside him, logbook open. He replays the HUD footage over and over, frame by frame. That flash, that vanishing light, the instruments never lied. Something was there, something faster, stronger, and far beyond any known technology. Weeks later, intelligence analysts quietly compile the Spectre Strike Report. Its conclusion is chilling in its simplicity. An unidentified high-energy event resulted in the destruction of a foreign aircraft. Further data unavailable. And just like that, the file is buried under other operations, forgotten by bureaucracy, remembered only by those who watched it unfold. But across the Pacific, whispers grow. Fishermen off the coast of Japan report hearing a thunderclap without lightning. Satellite operators notice electromagnetic distortion near the engagement zone. Even radio hobbyists capture a strange frequency spike at the same timestamp the MiG vanished. 3 hours 14 minutes and 22 seconds Greenwich Mean Time. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe something bigger stirred that morning, something the public was never meant to see. Inside the Pentagon, a general leans back from a debriefing screen and whispers to his aide, "If they're testing us, they know we saw it. And if it was ours." He pauses. "Then we just showed the world what we're capable of." The aide doesn't reply. The ocean remains silent, vast, eternal, holding its secrets. Above it, the contrails fade, and the ghost of the vanished MiG lingers like a scar across the morning sky. In the records of the U.S. Navy, the event is a single line, unidentified contact lost, cause undetermined. But to those who lived it, it was something else entirely. A glimpse into a world of warfare that hides between frequencies and shadows. That day, one North Korean fighter dared to challenge the might of the U.S. Navy, and vanished faster than human reflex could comprehend. Was it shot down by unseen hands? Did it self-destruct to conceal technology? Or did both sides witness something neither can explain? In the years since, reports have surfaced, whispers of classified energy weapons, experimental intercepts, and stealth systems that rewrite physics. But official silence remains absolute. The truth, it seems, drowns somewhere in that endless ocean. The Pacific keeps its secrets well. For every story told, 100 are never spoken, hidden behind redacted pages and encrypted channels. Yet for the sailors who watched that morning sky burn for less than 2 seconds, the memory remains vivid. Because sometimes, the most terrifying weapon is the one that doesn't need to be seen. Pause. If you found this story compelling, subscribe for more cinematic military documentaries. Join us as we uncover the truth behind the world's most secret operations, where silence speaks louder than missiles.